Welcome back to another episode of the Planner Suite. You all are used to seeing Amy and I, but today we have a special event going on. This is our live taping, and we have pulled out some amazing vendors from the Richmond, Virginia area. Yep, we surely have. These are some of our favorites. And today we're just going to talk about all things wedding industry, Richmond, worldwide, after the pandemic, just a little bit of everything, and some of those wedding trends that we've seen on social media that we all want to talk about. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and have us go through all of our panelists, and I'm going to start with Bron.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Bron, more commonly referred to as the Flower Guy Bron. And I'm based here in Richmond, Virginia, where we provide floral and design services for our clients. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming.
My name is Ciera Pope. I am the owner of Copper Hall RVA, which is where we are today. I am also a senior planner with the Hive Wedding Collective, and I am a civil celebrant, so I can marry you. And I am obviously based out of the Richmond, Virginia area as well.
Hi, I'm Shante Fields, aka Shante. I am a caterer throughout Richmond, Virginia. I own my own catering business called Quick Winner Potato LLC. Outside of that, I've been working with corporate America and have been there for 2 years.
That's corporate baddie. And y'all know us.
I am Raina Washington, owner of the Sweet Stop of RVA. I am a master cake artist. I am not a baker. So you don't come to me for a cake, you come to me for a piece of art.
Tell them, drop the mic.
My name is Brittany Johnson. I am the co-owner of Society 1111, along with my amazing business partner, Candace Hardy. We are a traveling hair and makeup team in Richmond area.
My name's Christine Greenberg. I own a bridal shop with my mom called Urban Set Bride. I'm also the creative director and owner of the Hive Wedding Collective, and I am ordained, so I'm a civil celebrant and a small business consultant here in Richmond, Virginia.
Thank you all so much for joining us here in the Planner Suite. So as you all know, here in the Planner Suite, we keep it real, we keep it authentic, and we cuss just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
This is a safe space, so we want you to tell us the truth about how you're feeling about these different things.
And we selected all of you guys because we wanted people who are seasoned or people who are doing things different in the industry. So with that being said, we're going to talk about wedding trends first. And as we all know, we all have social media. We all have Instagram and TikTok, and we're seeing a lot of different crazy things. And I want to know, how do you guys think that wedding trends have evolved the last few years, especially with the impact of the pandemic? Okay? Those COVID brides and the brides now, they're doing things a little different. They are doing things a little different.
Are there any trends that y'all have seen on social media that stand out to you? Anything that you like or dislike? It could be something that you're like, they need to cut this out.
I don't think they need to cut it out, but draping.
Oh,
It's
yes.
like all the crazy. I remember a while back, you just got a simple flat panel, and now I'm looking at.
What is that, Bron?
How are you making that? Like, where is the fishing line? So I've seen that, so I'm amazed by it, even on the table scale.
Yep. There's a girl out of Italy I follow. I try to comment every time, every single time. One day. But she's amazing. You sure can.
Brian said hi to me.
I got
You don't need to.
safety pins, I can pick up for you.
Not a safety pin. No, that's not.
No, but yeah, draping. I've been obsessed with this draping too.
Okay. I like that draping though.
Yeah.
I like it. It adds dimension.
It does.
It adds a look. It's a
It
look.
does.
It's a moment.
It is. It is.
It's a moment. Anyone else seen any trends that you like, dislike? Especially
Not having a cake.
I was going to say
I'm sick of that.
You don't like when they have nothing but cake?
Not having a cake. I don't want a cupcake. I don't want You need a piece of art.
a dessert table.
You need a piece of art.
You do.
The cake is just as important as the bride. They walk in that reception area, and everyone is looking They're looking for the cake. They're looking for the cake. If the cake is not there, they ain't got no cake. I wanted some wedding cake.
I will say
They
that's
looking for
me. I
cake.
am looking for the cake. Because I do
Exactly.
love baby shower cake and wedding cake.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm sorry, but I have horror stories with cakes. I love your cakes, Raina, but I truly, truly do, but the cakes be melting. They fall. I've had a lot of traumatic experiences. They do that because they did not, us. or they didn't hire a real
artists.
That's true.
People are hiring people who they're gonna do it for cheaper. That's it, right? I know somebody that's gonna do it cheaper than you. Cheap does not always mean it's the right way to go, right? And people need to have experience. They need to have knowledge. They need to have some years, skin in the game. If you don't have skin in the game, you don't know what you're doing for real, right? So that's the problem. It's melting and it's falling, not because it's the wedding cake. It's because the person who was doing the wedding cake didn't know what they was doing.
The whole middle of the cake. You better put it in the refrigerator overnight.
Whole middle of the cake collapsed.
That
Bron.
part. Yeah. So it's so many, Not having a cake is a problem for me though, because,
I got one.
yeah.
What about the diamonds? What are they doing now? Everyone's getting the lab created diamonds. That's the thing.
It is a thing.
When it comes to
I mean, it is more cost effective.
I was gonna say it is more cost effective.
You okay?
I want to.
That's another podcast topic, isn't it?
The person that helped her, she was like, no, this is what, and my mom was like, oh no, yes, I appreciate that.
Yes.
But
The person that's on the budget and send that extra dollar.
They look the same.
they do.
Right.
Some of them do look the same.
They do.
but
They
yeah.
do have a
Some of them.
What is it? Moissanite?
Moissanite.
Yeah.
The lab grown sound better than that.
That sounds a little cheap. It does sound like a disease.
Yes.
I've seen them. They're nice.
Yeah. I agree. What about beauty and dresses, fashion, beauty?
I would say the girlies are becoming a little bit more daring again. I think we went through that phase of let me just be simple and natural. I think that wave that we had with like beauty, probably like 2015, 16, the girls were doing more. But I think it's coming back in a more modern, like fresh and elevated way. So I'm super excited for the girls to just do more.
Can I just? Oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking in the wedding gown space, probably 65% of my dress sales right now are crispy clean. Like no adornments. I think women are celebrating their bodies more, which I love. But it's all like, I don't want this dress to wear me. I'm gonna wear this dress and I want face, beat, all my girls to look tight, and I want this dress to just embody what I look like and not be a distraction. So I like that. I love that these girlies are embracing a cute little dress to switch into after they cut their artwork.
Okay.
And I love the trend of wearing something fitted with a big old skirt over it and then you take it off. And again, the body celebration I think has come back post-COVID. And I do want to just complain for just like a minute about all these girls that have 45 bridesmaids.
How many?
You don't like these girls that much. There's no way.
But it's also, are they even going to support you?
That's what I'm saying.
Are they going to stress you?
Yeah, especially the hair and makeup cost, and having these girls for the bridal shower, the bachelorette party, all these things. Prioritize the people that really feed you and give. There's a give and take relationship. It doesn't have to be all of your AKA sisters. You can love them and see them on the dance floor.
That was me, friend. That was me. I had 15. You don't stop it. That's just saying. I had two weddings that I had 15 bridesmaids in one. And honestly, wait. She has a statement. Say your famous statement. I only wanted 3. My husband wanted all his alpha brothers.
It's Nathan's fault.
Yeah. And if you saw them at my second wedding, you saw them all party hopping all over the place and they went viral. So that's exactly why he wanted all.
My fingers still broke from making all the personal flowers.
That's still broke. But that actually is a conversation that we have all the time about bridesmaids, duties of bridesmaids. You should be intentional about choosing your bridesmaids because you're gonna have to get everyone on one accord. You're gonna have to get these girls vibing with what you want. You gotta get them to like the dress you pick. You gotta get them to like the hairstyle you pick. And it's hard. It's hard when you have a whole class of girls
Yeah, I just feel like this whole time period of planning a wedding is so fleeting. Surround yourself with the people that feed into you and just invite the other girls. Being a bridesmaid is expensive. Let people sit down.
Yeah. I love that I get out of it. Because it's like, oh, what I can't do this. You want to pay me to be a bridesmaid? You want to pay me?
You got to pick a team, baby. Pick a team.
So I love it. I don't do any of that.
That's good.
Right.
I'm sorry.
You better.
I can't help you. I can't be a bridesmaid.
I got a wedding.
I'm helping you.
They don't know.
So you all kind of gave us some training that you like, that you dislike, especially post-COVID. So we want to talk about post-COVID and especially just as the times have changed. Have you seen a shift in the industry when it comes to what your clients prioritize, what they like, what they dislike?
I feel like in the planning side of things, we're hearing a lot more about guest experience. Before COVID, I feel like it was very couple focused. We want this wedding to feel like us. We want the priority to be the things that are important to us, whether it's showing off the city or their dog or whatever it is. And I'm hearing a lot more conversations both with our planning company and in the bridal shop about, I want my guests to be entertained. We had a girl who wanted to hire a magician for her wedding, which we were like, okay, so we ended up settling for a tarot card reader during cocktail hour, and it was really dope. Like, it just felt a little funky, a little silly and fun, and it was a nice entertainment piece. And then they had a harpist, an acoustic guitar player, and it was just nice that the guests were never bored. It felt very seamless, but the couples seem a lot more focused on making sure that their guests are having a full circle experience rather than it being so couple focused.
I love that. Amy will tell you, I love an activity.
Yeah.
I love an activity during cocktail hour, wedding, reception. Like, we have a group who's doing virtual golf during cocktail hour.
Oh yeah, we have virtual golf coming. We have a tattoo artist coming.
Wow.
We have an engraver coming, which is like some really cool things to do. But I would say something that I'm just gonna put Shante on the spot for a second because people are getting creative with just the regular things. And I don't know if you guys have been on Shante's page, but she does the dopest catering setup.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting mashed potatoes.
Give them handles so they can see. Tell them the Instagram handle so they can see.
Cooking with potatoes, and
Yes. So you're getting mashed potatoes, but there's smoke coming out at you, and fireworks when you're eating the mac and cheese and all of these things.
Flowers
So,
falling down.
and it's a whole experience. It's like wedding planners and event planners. We're doing these mood boards for, you know, florals and stuff. And then here I am planning the wedding. And here comes Tatum with the mood board for the food table. I'm like, wait a minute.
So I remember the first time I worked with her, she was like, do you have some water? And I was like, sure. She was like, yeah, for the dry ice. Who this for? And then she did it, and I was like, what? We didn't plan for this. Like, you did this on your own. It's really beautiful, y'all. Please follow her. Please go see all the things. So we want to hear a little bit about your inspiration behind that, because I don't think that's something we've seen a lot.
you know, I try to put on lipstick.
No, seriously.
But honestly, I think it came from, I'm a girl that likes pretty things. I'm a pretty girl.
Ow.
We used to have a competition. My best friend, another good friend of mine, decorated our home. We would always compete, like, where I got this issue, but you don't. So, I mean, it's only so much to do with your house. It's kind of us with the nails. So it was like, what else can I do? And we started catering, and I'm like, Mr. Coconut and all these Instagram celebrity chefs are all these lavish things. Why can't I do this? So since then, 2020 year was like 5 years now. Like, we have just elevated so much. Like, it's crazy. My inspiration comes from everyday life. What your theme is, I try to match that. I have a lot of relationships with women and nerds. A lot of us, you have to be, you have one of these that you probably have to try.
Yeah.
But yeah, my inspiration is just my imagination. I'm an Aquarius, so I know where to flow. I like how you're just crafty my mind. Like, I tell what I'm going to see, I have to pick myself out. Like right now, I'm doing
Okay. I mean, I respect that. We love it. And then I always tell you, you're branching into a new phase of Richmond for catering. It's not just a shaper and a tablecloth and someone serving the food. It is truly an experience. And honestly, you eat with your eyes. So honestly, if it's pretty coming up to it, I mean, the food is always great. But even if it was bad, it was pretty though. It was pretty. She don't know nothing. Like, if you see a girl, she don't know nothing, but she was pretty.
The food is good and
It is. Yes.
So when it comes to, because we know weddings are not cheap. We know weddings are expensive, and it's just increasing. Like Amy says all the time, she cannot justify these prices.
I can.
It's getting outrageous. But when it comes to couples spending their money, have you found that their mindset has shifted in what they're willing to invest, what they want to spend money on, where they want their money to go?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I can't say that people care more now than they did before. I think people have always paid close attention to their budgets and their pocketbooks and their wallets. What I will say is that it appears to me that people are hyper-focused on the look and cost. And what I've noticed that disappeared or diminished a little bit is the focus on quality, the focus on service. And for businesses like mine, who is founded on the bedrock of service, it's the center of our core value, it's been a bit of an adjustment. Meeting with so many couples where historically I could have sold them on, the key factor that makes the Flower Guy Bron different is that you're going to have a dedicated this person, or we're going to focus on this for you. They really don't care anymore. And so I've had to kind of reevaluate what my onboarding process looks like to tailor it specifically to what this particular couple is looking for. And most often than not, it's impact. And so, whereas you have 15 bridesmaids, I might have to have the conversation. Like, do you want to spend $2,000 on personal flowers, or do you want to make an impact point of interest in your room? So that's where I'm kind of looking at is it complements the experience that you all were saying, whereas people are looking for big impact points of interest and how much does it cost? And if someone is $150 cheaper, golly.
Years of it is.
And I used to tell people, my moniker used to be, we don't sell flowers, we
sell experience.
And I still don't stand by that. But now my new moniker is going to have to be, there is a difference.
It is absolutely.
And I see that more couples, or at least the brides or the bridal party, are investing their time with their getting ready services. So I see more brides having a bridal attendant, and especially a content creator. I know videographers love this. We don't have to bring the panel, but they love to have the behind the scenes of getting ready, having someone take care of them, having someone go to premiere or Chick-fil-A for them. They are spending more money on that. They're like, I don't want my mom to worry about it. My mom's stressing me out, so I want someone else to do this. That's been something I feel like we have been seeing more people invest their money in, behind the scenes content, and then it brought us to take care of all their needs. Like scenes and dress, I don't want to do that. It's been hanging in the closet anyway for a month. So they started doing that more. I've seen that as a trend, to invest more money in that nowadays.
So we added a bridal attendant.
I know.
We have it too, yeah.
Yeah, because it made sense. And you brought up something about content creation, which is going to lead me into our next question about how has social media trends influenced the wedding industry, because people don't understand how long it takes to make a TikTok.
Okay, first of all, the makeup artist is not your content creator, one. And two, I'm trying to get your wedding started on time. I'm not trying to watch you do snaps and stuff and abracadabra set.
I had a couple last season. And they were my little content babes, but they also are in the process of becoming content creators. So I knew I was like, let me go ahead and stalk TikTok. Because I didn't know which ones they want. And we had some content, okay? We don't have different
Oh, we did that.
That was a cute one.
But I knew they were big into content because they do content for themselves. But so I was like, I can push this a little bit more with them. Let me see all the trends. But they want, TikTok is not easy. I've tried to do a couple dances, I almost broke my neck.
And I think that we also need to consider
Tell me a day.
I'm still trying to
It's
make
social
the
media.
It's
People want to
social
go
media.
viral.
I used to do all of our content, y'all, for the last 4 years. It wasn't until last year of November that we finally have a videographer. Praise God, because that was stressful. Oh, he does amazing. Kai, shout out to Kai. Yeah, shout out to
Here, okay.
Kai. Yes. Okay, how do you do that? Get a content creator that makes sense.
But couples want to go viral.
They do.
Couples want to go viral.
Actually, I don't see that as often as I used to. I used to have couples come and say, hey, I want to go viral. Now, going viral, all you have to do is put your shoes on an escalator.
We have
And then have you seen that save the date? They put their
That
shoes
is
on the
true.
escalator and then it's viral.
No, we have couples who come to us to say, no, I'm not worried about going viral. I'm doing a lot of TikToks. And then they're like, why you don't want me? Why don't you post me? Why didn't you post me? Why didn't you post me?
That's what they did.
With going viral, I had a client who we did a big daddy wedding and invested a lot more money than they probably had. And she was very concerned about that. And I was like, to be real with you, why? Like, going viral is beneficial to us because we make the money, but like, you're just like a regular girl. Right? With like a corporate job, it does not benefit you and it's gone in an instant. So why are we spending this money that you don't have? Rather than focusing on guest experience and having a nice time and having it look not like, what is the point?
This does strike a small nerve. It's also the clients that talk about more, they don't specifically, explicitly say they want to go viral. But they spend all this money on these things. We have a client together. They spend all this money on these things. And they talk about, I want to have a content creator, I want to have a content creator. And so you bring in a third person to do such. And then it's like, I don't want to show the content.
Oh my
We
God.
had that too.
I shared it.
I sure did.
See, I didn't have no contract telling me I couldn't share shit.
And I did. But it's like,
You said I could.
it's like, well, then it's like, we want to share the content because we put all this blood, sweat, and tears
Literally.
literally into your wedding. It's like, I want to share what I want to share. You have 300 followers. Right. Let us share.
But not 300 followers.
My sausage.
No shade. Okay, so social media has absolutely affected
Oh my God.
the wedding industry.
Yeah.
And one thing, I want to come back to beauty for a second because let's talk about just beauty a little bit and people investing in their beauty. Are people just having you do the makeup and leave, or are we having a full experience? You're staying all day, doing touch-ups.
Oh, I know with Society 1111, we are creating the ultimate experience because we don't want to be those just come in the door, get out, get the money. No, this is your wedding day. And so we take time to really invest in the overall experience because we're there with them all morning. So who wants to be working all fast and then getting out of there? We like to have fun. We love what we do. So why not create an experience for everyone? And of course, when it comes to bigger packages that we offer to support the bride is our elite packages. That's when we stay all day with the bride, we support them because we know them personally. And so at that point, we can delegate different tasks. We can support them with getting their dress on. We can tell when certain people are getting on their nerves. So we provide those things because we know your wedding day kind of evokes a different kind of emotion. It's not just like, oh, it's just this party. There's lots of levels of emotions that the brides go through, and some people just aren't in tune to those things. So we make sure that our team in general just really focuses on creating an experience and not just showing up to just do so.
So after they're crying, you fix their makeup and everything.
Yeah. I want to talk about, especially with beauty and look, and I guess for everybody, is because we get a lot through social media. Have you found that inspo have changed?
Let's please cut loose
Now they're
the
AI.
AI. That's cute. But that's not really
It's
cute
not.
at all. And we do find a lot of times that people do see things that they absolutely love, but then they don't love it on themselves. So that also causes a conflict too. So you have to really redirect them and say, hey, let's really have a conversation. And so what we do is really talk them through the process of like, okay, I see this. What does that look like for you? Educate them throughout the process as well to really find balance to the reality of it, because social media takes over quickly. TikTok, AI, Instagram, all of those things. But it's like, let's reel it in a bit. Let's come here and let's work with what we have right here presently to execute something that's specifically curated for you.
And that's the thing, I think they get inspiration and what's for you, they confuse it, right? Why do you want to be someone else? Why do you want what someone else has? Why do you bring me a cake and say, this is the cake that I want, right? Why do you want their wedding cake? What makes it special to you, right? It's great, it's beautiful, but that's when you say, okay, this is inspiration. But tell me, give me an idea, what are the key elements of this? What do you like about this? Because as the professionals that we are, we're able to pull those things away and say, okay, you like this, this, and that. Now let me take that and apply it to something. Let me be the creative that you hire and create something specifically for you. Not for the person that had this, but for you. So the problem is they take inspiration and say, I want that. That's not for you. First of all, we are creative, and I can't even give you that if I try, because I am not that person. We are not the people that you bring the inspiration to. So we can't give you that if we try. Now what we can do is use those things, and you tell us what you love about what you see. And then what we can do is pull that away, and we create something amazing for you as the artist that you hire. So that I think just understanding that it's only inspiration, it's not, I want this. There's a difference.
Raina, that's so, I'm glad you brought that up in terms of, bring us the inspiration. So this is like a pointer for, upcoming brides and couples. When you bring us a Pinterest board, you might think that it is a crazy hodgepodge of things that are not alike at all. I have found that when I see that Pinterest board, because I can digest this information differently, I'm able to see, and see a common line, a trend line. And then we can use that trend line to start, scaffolding your design and customizing it to you. So that was a perfect point. We want you to bring us the inspiration, but we also want you to trust us enough to interpret that based on your keywords, the things that you're saying to us, the things that we have already snooped on your social media and found. But we're looking at you too, boo-boo. We know who you are. We know what you like to eat. We know you like to vacation. We know that you like high and low. But don't bring the high and low to this panel, because we want to look, because there is a difference, right? There is a difference. So yeah, bring us the inspiration, but trust us. And I hope we get to talk about trust a little bit later, because I think that that's a trend that we've lost with couples. I'm talking to so many of my planner girlfriends, and even my planner guy friends. I don't have that many of those. I just made that up. I really don't have no planner girlfriends. All my planner girlfriends. I'm trying to be inclusive. Okay? So my whole thought was, I don't forgot what I was going to say. Keep going.
You talked about trust.
Yeah, the trust factor.
They don't trust us no more.
I told y'all don't give me this. So the piece about the trust for me is I feel like we got to start guiding our clients back to us being the professionals, guiding them back to us being the subject matter experts. I had a planner recently tell me, Bron, I'm just overwhelmingly, I just don't feel like my clients trust me. And I'm like, well, what the hell are you doing? Like, what are they hiring you for? Are they hiring you to execute a look that they've seen on your page, or are they hiring you to make recommendations that are both functional recommendations and hearts and I love you emoji recommendations? So what I mean is there's some decisions that I don't believe clients should be able to make.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. That is also another trick.
You just opened
I'll be like,
I've been triggered by that.
You think you're going to pick your florist and your caterer, girl? Bye. Like, absolutely not. Because I can't work with them people. Not if you want that Pinterest board honored.
Right.
That's a lot of the time.
I think so. Then you gotta have to be brave enough to have those tough conversations with clients. Like, you can't come to me with this $500, $1,000 budget.
Yeah, some zeros and don't.
Like you said, the wine. And you have a $5 budget. Like, I can't. Chicken. Do you know how much chicken costs? You want chicken. I'm about to buy some chicken. Right. You want chicken. So no, we can't do 200 people for $1,000. No. And if it's like, absolutely not. No. We can do pack lunches.
Pack lunches. We can do Lunchables.
Not an apple spice junction box.
Absolutely. The apple spice.
We're real corporate on you. Then.
I think that kind of takes us to our next topic. It's like budget transparency. Y'all been talking about budget this whole time. You know, people are scared to talk about budget. People are scared to tell their prices. A lot of times they'll feel free to say, well, I don't work with things. We can figure it out.
That's a red flag.
Yes.
And honestly, it's a learning experience. Like, I haven't learned. I'm not going to say that I have never been that planner that said, hey, I can work with you. I understand this stuff is expensive. But guess what? This stuff costs money. And quality costs money, okay? These weddings you see on social media, and I'm looking directly at the camera, and I'm speaking to you guys right now.
Everybody look.
These weddings on social media are not $25,000.
No. Yes.
They're not $50,000.
They're not even $70,000.
They're not even $70,000. And what I will tell you is that there are people there who are affording these weddings. And yes, they can be inspiration, and you can have a beautiful wedding. It just different budgets for different people. And with that, I'm going to pivot to you, Bron.
Okay.
Do you believe price transparency helps or hurts vendors when it comes to competition?
Oh, you know what? Because it was my answer to this question. I didn't know you were going to start here. Was about the different levels of budget transparency, and I think that the reason the first access to information has changed. People have a lot of access to information, and in that you have a lot of new vendors. I've been in the business for I think 10 or 11 years now. And there are now designers and florists in this market that I couldn't even tell you their first names. It was just so many new people. And what's happened is access to education. You used to have a time where we could only buy from certain vendors, and only vendors would only sell to us. Now they sell to the public. So now you have designers and cake artists. Every person that's represented here has a newer peer who may have been in the business for 2 or 3 years. They have paid good money for excellent education, and now they can kickstart their shit. It took me a decade. But honey, it might take them 3 or 4 years to have the same type of look, to have the same type of thing. So so now you are a newer designer, and you have all of that. You have the skills, the chops, but you're not confident in selling at the price point it should be. So you can create the look, but you have not been vetted. And you do not have the experience to sell it at what it's worth. So now we got to talk. Now let's talk about the transparency and pricing. So my client can go meet with whoever they want to meet with across the river. There is a difference, but that person might be 5 or 6 years in, has the same type of pretty pictures, and they can do it. They went to the workshop, right? They know how to do it.
They want to authenticate a coach. They have a coach.
They got a coach.
They got a coach.
I couldn't afford a coach.
Instagram, you know.
I couldn't afford it.
A wedding, a coach.
Right. So then, now this particular vendor is going to quote the $30,000 job at $15,000. Now you want to talk about budget transparency. Now the client has already met with them and said, okay, it's $15,000. I come and I quote them $29,999. Now who looks like the donkey of the day? Me. But there is a difference. But at that point, nothing I can tell them will justify a $15,000 difference.
But on that wedding day when those flowers
Oh my!
Dying.
Oh my!
And they're full. They're full.
Dying.
They're heavy. Break your hand. Yeah.
So,
they had them back in the
so to answer your question about does it help or hurt us, I am one of those vendors who weaves in the numbers early, and I'm starting to do that now earlier and earlier. I built my business on selling a big picture vision. I never went into line items. I was able before COVID, I was able to give you a number. If it was within your investment, what difference does it make how much your bridal bouquet costs? Right? But nowadays, you might give me your investment, but you still want to know how much every single thing costs. So in my mind, I need to know it so that I can fairly give you inspiration based on the number you've given me. Because a lot of this AI stuff, I don't know, I can't tell if it's real or not. I'm like, I don't know if people are real anymore. Okay? Much less some flowers. I'd be like, what is this? So I think it's very imperative that couples are transparent about their budgets and that planners bring us clients and are aware of what the intended investment should be based on what they're asking
But what the
for.
problem is people don't want to be transparent because they think we're trying to get over on them. But the whole thing is we want to make sure that I'm not wasting your time and you're not wasting mine.
Right.
Because it's no need for us to do the back and forth and the consultations and all these emails and calls when at the end of the day, we can't meet in the middle. So it's not just we don't want to be transparent, they don't want to be transparent, right? They say they have this, so I've had some that say, I don't have a budget. Oh, baby, you got it.
Right.
Okay, you start running them ranges, 10 to 15. Woo!
There's a feeling.
You got a budget.
It's like you ain't showing up saying I want to buy the Rolls Royce. Right? Like you're not saying that. There's a ceiling. We all have a ceiling.
That's
I
it.
don't think there's anything wrong with the budget, but you got to be honest with your vendors because it's a waste of everybody's time. Baby, time is money. It is money. It's money for those who work a 9 to 5, just like it is for us. Nobody wants to go to work, and your boss is like, you ain't doing nothing all day, and at 5 o'clock they're saying, I got this project I need you to do. I've been here all day. So our time is just as valuable as anybody else's. Be honest with us so that if you need to go elsewhere, we can all be like, I'm not the person that's for you. And that's okay. But that transparent thing we need from the clients just as much as they need it from us.
That's what I was gonna say. I prefer when people come to me with that.
Yeah.
Because then I can easily tell you, hey, I cannot do that, or I can. Or either I can say, I can do that. Here's where we need to look. Here's where we shouldn't even look over here because this is not fitting your budget. You know? I'm able to actually help you when you tell me your budget. But if you're like, I don't have a budget, then it's like, okay, we're shooting for the stars. And then you tell me, that don't fit. That don't work.
My big question is like, where are the budgets coming from? Because the bridal shop is we're normally stop number 2. People normally book a venue or they don't. And then they start dress shopping right after. We have a sister store that's a consignment shop off the rack, so it's a little bit more affordable. And we created that because we knew that this market needed something off the rack, quick, affordable, all those good things. But sometimes we get the same inquiries, and these girls are saying, well, I only have $1,000, and then they come to my store, and then suddenly they have $3,000. So I just think, one, I feel bad for this next generation coming up, because back in the day, and Bron and I have been at it about the same time, and you and Ciera, we've seen it all. We started at the mason jars.
At the bottom.
The mason jars? You had the little tea lights, the twinkle lights.
That's right.
The burn
We
lights.
had it for a
The
long
burn
time.
lights.
That's it.
Couldn't stop it, that baby's at the bottom. But I mean, we just had Pinterest, and now these poor babies are just inundated by inspiration and celebrity weddings, and just like, even just budget transparency on TikTok, but in the wrong area. You know, you talking to some girl in Cincinnati, that's not the same thing as being on the East Coast or California or whatever. So I think it's interesting. People act like, well, I only have this $500 in a plastic bag. I'm like, where am I? And she said her last wish, and she said, Shatrice, buy this with me. This is your wedding dress money. Don't spend a penny more. Like, it's not, like, what are you doing? Just let these professionals guide you. Please stop with the trope of, well, when it's a wedding, it's more expensive. No, it's not.
But I will tell you, I'm a bride to be, and I was so oblivious. Like, I'm a vendor. And I thought that I could get this wedding for this price. I'm not going to tell you the price.
We're going to laugh at
I don't even want to try to come
No, what's the price?
But me and my fiance had to go back to the drawing table more than I would like to say. And we at Richmond were supposed to have a destination wedding, but my dad fell sick, so he wasn't able to travel. So now it is in Richmond, and we are now having it at the mall room. My dress came from Earth.
Period.
But yeah, we had to tussle with the budget, and we still overrated that. But I had to get my design, and I had to have my dresses, and I had to have my makeup. My makeup is going to be there all day, my hair all day, because we're going straight in the look change. So yeah,
That's the way it should be.
okay.
Hello.
But yeah,
She said she like pretty things.
Yeah.
That has to be in it.
all day. But I say that to say, make sure you talk with your fiance and your family if you are able, if your family is able to help you. Like our family, we're doing this alone. You know, grandmother, our brothers, for them. But mostly we're doing this alone. So make sure y'all have been at home on the budget, so that's crystal clear, because it wasn't crystal clear. My budget was way over third grade.
That's typically the way that it is. My husband and I don't even talk about the wedding at all. I don't think.
I got one more piggyback. So I was reading recently about different drivers as to why people spend and what they spend it on. And I think it's important, like it's one perspective from the client, the couple side, but if I turn on like my BCBA hat from my back in the day and think about behavior analytics and why people do what they do, in our community, and I'm talking about the African American community, a wedding is a pinnacle celebration, and it is ego driven.
Yeah.
It is ego driven. If we take it back to the motherland and we think about, the beautiful, huge celebrations, like this is about me making a statement. And so when we think about budget transparency, on one hand you have, and I'm saying this so we can be empathetic to our couples as to when they're approaching us with these numbers and we don't know where they come from and they're exorbitant, but the reality is it's not rooted, I don't believe, in me trying to top the next person or being viral. It's really about me wanting to celebrate and have the best that I can, but then there is that gray space of, I might have, I say 20, but I really meant 15, 9. But I just really want to see, like, I want you to write a $20,000 proposal and waste my time. It's 15. So just I think it's good to look at it on both sides and know what's driving people so that we can accommodate them. Because if it is ego, then we can serve and play to their ego in other ways. So learning why people shop and how they shop and those behaviors will help us serve them more intuitively.
All right, so if you could change one thing about how the industry handles pricing conversations, what would that be? And I'm going to start with Christine.
Ooh, which industry shall I pick today? Okay, so I would say bridal shop, we're really transparent with the entire process. I hope that more bridal shops do that because I think that's an incredibly emotional and very delicate situation. People have body image issues. We've had tons of queer women come in that do not have relationships with their families anymore. And so the whole process needs to be clear so that people can emotionally prepare. But also, whether you have a $500 budget or the dress isn't as important to you, whatever it is, or you need a $12,000 custom gown, you should know where to shop so that you're not spending all your time and dumping your titties out in front of somebody that you can't afford to be there. With wedding planning, the Hive Wedding Collective, I know I said titties. With the Hive Wedding Collective, we have made a decision as a team many, many moons ago that it is important for us to at least do a price range. We want to be inclusive. We want to make sure that everybody feels seen and can be taken care of, especially because we are, much like Amy's team, very diverse. But at the end of the day, the money is the money. So there's no reason to get inquiries that don't prioritize planning or don't need the level of planner that we are. So we've always shared our price ranges online. And then with officiant work, I also share my prices too. So my main mantra is I think transparency is good. I think that if you're going to hire a vendor that's a little more expensive, it's the artistry of selling the experience and selling like, I understand that in your mind you think this is expensive, but let me show you all the ways that I'm going to take care of you and go above and beyond with my experience and my grit and my connection in this industry and make sure that I'm worth your while. And I feel like we all do that pretty well, where people have a number in their mind, but you can convince them that it's worth every penny.
Brittany.
Yes, I think for beauty, internally in the industry, I think we kind of need to get on a little bit more one accord with pricing because there's a huge gap, but everyone's doing the same thing. So that makes it challenging sometimes too.
Are they really? That's the same thing in conversation. Okay, I'm being messy. Go ahead.
Educating beauty professionals that work specifically in the beauty industry, bridal specifically, to elevate them because I do see some that are like really working hard and I'm like, you're undercharging yourself. It also makes it difficult for us because it's like, hey, I can go get her for this amount versus them for that amount. So I think there's a level of education that needs to occur internally. But for us externally, I think what we do is educate our clients a lot on what we offer. It's not just, again, hair and makeup services. So they get plenty of information about what makes us different, what we offer specifically, why you're not just getting the service, what you are getting in your experience. And sometimes people are like, okay, that does make sense. I do actually need that. No one ever told me that that would make sense for my getting ready experience versus, again, hey, just hair and makeup, what about it? So we just take the time to really educate people about what we offer and what makes us different. And be transparent about, hey, this is what the price goes towards. And they're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
I think with the cake industry, and there's no shade to part-time people, the problem is with the cake industry, we have part-time people and we have newcomers who don't understand the value of what they're doing. And it's not just about what you're worth, it's about breaking the numbers down. The numbers that fall out the sky. When I do the math, I do the math. I know exactly what it costs for me to run my business, and I know exactly what it costs for materials, supplies, knowledge, all of those things, my skills. I know the numbers, and the problem is you have part-time people who sometimes have a patient. So I'm up against somebody who does cakes part-time, who really doesn't need the money. They're doing it for fun. This is my life. This is my career, and I understand every aspect of my career. So now I'm competing against the price of someone who really doesn't need the money. So they don't care about understanding that they're not where they need to be. They just say, oh, I can do it, it's not hard. It's not about it being hard, because your job may not be hard to you, but you still get what you're worth from your job. So it's not about it being hard, it's about the value of it and all the things that it encompasses to give you the number. So I think with the cake industry, I'm battling against newcomers and part-timers who don't understand how they got the number. Right?
How many of those businesses are going to be here in a year or two?
Exactly. Are they going to be here? Do they know what to do under pressure? Do they know what to do when something happens? Are they able to actually give you the ideas to give you the best thing for you versus you just giving them exactly what you want? There's a difference. You're hiring people because of their expertise. You're not hiring them just because they can do it. You're hiring them because they're experts. So some of the problem is people aren't experts, but you want them because they're cheap. That's a problem.
All right, that was a lot. The whole side was a lot. A lot of gems.
We're gonna lighten it up over here.
Okay, coming over to the right side.
What was the question?
Okay, we need to run back the question.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could change one thing about your industry, how your industry handles pricing conversations, what would it be?
Okay.
Can I start with Ciera? Because Ciera just I'll be quiet. She has that.
Okay.
We're gonna start with you in the middle.
How do we deal with price?
Okay, so if there's one thing you can change about the industry, how they handle pricing conversations, what would it be? And from your venue, officiants, planner, everything.
I would love for planners to be more transparent. We at the Hive have always been very transparent. One, much what Raina just said, is we don't want to waste our time and we don't want to waste yours. If you can't afford us, even though we started with the burlap and mason jar, if you don't, you can't afford it, that's fine. But we don't want you to inquire and ask for an inquiry and waste an hour of our time for you just to tell us that you can't afford it. So we would love to know what our peers charge so that we can recommend you if we're not available, but also just know, like, are we in the same playing field with these people that are our peers? Just so we can know. And a lot of times we have stalked the websites and we have inquired as well. To find out what you all's price points are to get a feel like, oh, okay, we're in the same playing field, this makes sense, so I refer this person. Because I don't want to also send a person to a client or to another vendor and it's like, oh, they're $15,000. I'm like, girl, first of all, what are you doing that I'm not getting? But secondly, okay, why? So that's one thing, transparency amongst our vendors. I tell my clients in a consultation, this is about your marriage. I'm just planning a party that we celebrate that. And I also let them know, at the end of the day, I guide you through this process, but I also stand on your contract. So what you spend is completely up to you. I will adjust your budget accordingly. So I am
Say say that.
Which part would you like me to reiterate?
Say that again. I sign your contract.
I don't sign your contracts, but I guide you through the process. You sign those contracts.
And then you adjust the budget.
And I will adjust the budget.
So no one holds them.
Absolutely.
To spending that amount of money, right? So at the end of the day,
the day got it.
yes, okay.
But if you spend $15,000 on a band, which is happening, and I give you a budget of about $7,000.
Because aisle planner be telling you aisle planner will tell you what you can spend.
And you went out there and gave it back.
It was only $600.
Now I gotta do everything they demand of me. And I will tell my clients, hey, you gotta find some more money for your auntie or your mother. Oh, we gotta cut back on those pictures. And I don't know what to cut back on pictures, but I really need that as my content. I need it for my content. But transparency with vendors. I think we need that, planner people, whoever's here. We need that. I try to be transparent with my clients about all this spending. Like, granted, we put it on our website and we still have people that try us. No shit. But they still say, oh, I got a 200-person guest count and I got $40,000. I'm getting married to Main Street Station.
Shit.
And I would tell a person in the consult, and that's when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and educate them real quick. And I'll tell them on the call. I'm not gonna waste my time and do a separate email. I'm gonna do it on the call with you. So your venue is $52,000. Your floors for what you want, because you share some Pinterest boards with me, that's $25,000. You said you had a $50,000 limit. You see where the numbers align? And I do that on the consultation with them then, so they can see like, and I say, hey, figure out your guest count, bring your guest count down, and then you can figure out what you're gonna do. And it's sometimes like, and I also think, hey, this is my price point as well. So I ask them, am I including your budget, or is someone else covering me? Or even like your dress. Like sometimes people will cover the dress, even florals. Like mom, I had a client where her mother was really big into florals, so mom wanted to handle that. But I'm like, what is included in your budget? I ask them those questions in the consultation, especially when they have a budget. I'm like, that's how I feel like conversations happen when you're having a conversation with parents. And I think that's how conversations happen amongst our vendors when it's like, what y'all charging? Because like, you undercut it. And much like Raina said, it's a part-time job for you. This is how I make my life. So if you're charging, I don't know what.
Don't say no numbers. That's gonna be an identifying trait. Don't do it.
So if you're charging this number for full planning and you're starting however many months out, and then you coming in with the Drake, the flowers, the rental, girl, I can't keep up with it. So yes, go to them. But understand, I have a relationship and I have a rapport in this industry that comes with my price point.
Yes.
And Susie BQ, it meant her to barbecue. I don't know. Barbecue. She do all that. She do catering, she do rentals, and she do plans. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get it right. You're gonna get it right. I have to put it together because she do catering, she do rentals, and she do plans.
No, because wait a minute.
They're also.
Wait a minute, because there's a me. Yeah. There's an Amy.
I'm over here getting offended too. Like, when I do too much too.
There's an Amy.
You all do it. You all have experience. You do it well. There's TT that just started.
Okay.
She don't do that good.
But I will say this off that. You guys should really, if you're starting new in the industry, you should really keep it separate. You don't need to be the jack of all trades. There's people who do it I learned that the hard way. I cannot show up and be everyone. I just want to show up and be a planner. Go and get the florist. Go and get the draper. Go and get all the people. And I know it's expensive and it doesn't always make sense with the budget, but a lot of times my production budgets for couples is like $22,000 plus, and it is beautiful because they are the professionals. So I get it if you're trying to pull the client in, but there's people out here paying us just for us and still paying the other people. So don't feel like you have to do that because you do not.
You do not.
Yes.
You do not. So that's my thank you for coming to my school.
You're welcome. And now Shante.
Oh yes. So I would say, I pride myself, or we pride ourselves on being a luxury catering service. That said, please don't compare us to your auntie that is $500 pants for 10 pants. Yes,
And I still want one.
And I would
I still want one of
and I
these
do
fish
too.
plates.
Like, but that's not us. So come to us with your true budget, and we can work with that. And I'm not saying you can get lobster and shrimp for $25 a plate, but we'll work something out. You can change it out with the salmon, maybe, but we don't take food stamps either. So please don't come to us with
That's a
food
good
stamps,
idea,
'cause no,
actually.
we don't. It is. We don't.
I want somebody to say
That's a hundred. What y'all think? Yeah.
You know what? I just thought about it. I just thought about it. Why would they come with that? But then I think about it. You're right. They do. They do like a kind of.
They wouldn't have pay me the fee, and no, we don't do that. We don't offer that. The only service we offer like that is set up. I should.
You better leave people alone and let them watch their hustle. We've been selling stamps for a long time.
But the only service we offer remotely close to that is setup only, where the client provides their own food, and we don't touch the food at all. So that is an option.
Oh, wow.
That is an option.
That's smart.
I mean, like, that's question.
You can do whatever you want. It's a safe space.
Because I've seen that you do that. Hey,
Well, we gotta increase the price, but I like it. I like it. Well, okay. We get our footage of food, so I don't know what the food looks like.
It's not your business, is it?
Yes, that is. Right. Well, you gotta make sure they say cooking with taste. No. I specify on my page.
You know how that's so.
I saw that you do that. Like, you do that nasty meatball.
But you know what? It's funny. I'm glad we're talking about this. Back in the day, I had like when we first got started, I had a couple like signature vases or something like that. And people would ask me, "Can I borrow your vases? Can I rent your vases?" And my first thought would be always to say yes. But then I was like, "Dang, I done kind of crowned a look, and now I'm about to let you have a little bit of my look. I don't know about that." So yeah, you gotta go up that price.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, make them pay for it.
You heard that June 1st.
Y'all better book your table seat before June.
Tell the couple.
She
Tell
going
the
up.
couple. Bron,
There's still room for commentary on the topic. I thought y'all don't
In
play
your
that thing out.
industry, your industry.
you're in it. You have flowers.
Well, what I will say is, I do want
And
to.
then you still got something to say.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you made me feel like I had to. So anyway, for y'all over here who's listening to me, what I will say is the volatility in pricing is crazy. I don't understand how I can pay what I'm assuming is a similar price per stem as my competitor, and sometimes the pricing can be, just so different. And there was a time where I kind of felt like I was, I don't think felt, like I was probably at the top of like the price point range, but now I'm kind of like, I'm just kind of in a happy medium. So I'm just kind of curious as to where people are getting these prices from, and I would just encourage every florist in my industry to buy a software. I am not just coming up with numbers off the top of my head. Every single arrangement that we make is based on each stem having a cost, each vase having a cost, each piece of tape having a cost, the phone, everything costs. So if you're just counting flowers and marking it up 3 times, you have missed the mark, and that is why you are not competing with me and you're undercutting, because you're not charging for everything.
Sunday morning.
I've done that a few times. Those flowers might have came from you. I'm just kidding.
I have a pricing director.
A pricing. Okay.
Yes, ChatGPT.
Okay.
And she has not.
Actually,
Her name is Kiki.
I have a bone to pick with Kiki because we have something we're going to talk about. We're going to take a break right now, but when we come back, we have a budget for what a wedding looks like in Richmond, and I think Kiki is wrong.